right there. That's my daughter.
Hey, yo, welcome, you guys. We are live right now with Underground Hip Hop Blog, the biggest underground hip hop blog in the world. Welcome, everyone. Today we have on superstar Tiona Deniece, girl. How are you?
Hey, boo, hey.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing even better. Shout out to DJ Beans for bringing me this wonderful craft beer. We have Alfredo in Inner Borough flavor, India Pale Ale. I actually love IPAs. I'm a big fan of craft beers. Usually I'll have, different craft beers for me and the artist to try. But today we're doing it raw. You and I.
I got my water, so
That's right.
I'm good.
Cheers. Cheers. All right, so this is your first time here at Underground. I want to know, not your first time in LA. Tell us about like your first performance like you ever did out here. What was that like?
Ooh, out here?
Yeah.
Actually, it was a couple of weeks ago. And great experience. It was over at Catch One. Mm-hmm. It was with the whole Laura Mob squad. Mm-hmm. Dope experience. Sound was a little different. Mm-hmm. It wasn't 100%, but that's cool. We still did what we had to do. Mm-hmm. But I love the vibes of LA. Period. So
yeah,
I love being out here. The weather, the people, like it's just a vibe.
Yeah. Talk about like the crowd difference. So you're used to performing in Atlanta, New York. Talk about the crowds here in LA. Like, what is some of the differences you notice just from traveling all over the nation and performing for like such different types of people all over?
Great question. I mean, I would say music just connects people, period, right? So no matter what your walk of life is or where you live or whatever, music is just a connecting factor for everybody. So I feel like there's really no difference. If you're a music lover, like you're still gonna vibe out. Maybe the way that some little things might be different, but for the most part, I think music just connects people and they just vibe out no matter where you are. And if you're doing good music, if you're putting out good shit, you're just gonna vibe, that's it.
Yeah. I feel like, oh man, I went out to New York about 2 months ago. I went to Summer Jam. I'm actually wearing their merch. Shout out Summer Jam. No, but when I went there and I saw everyone in the stadium, it's at this huge MetLife stadium there. I was so amazed by the New York crowd because I feel like over here, LA is so insular, it's so small, so shows happen only in a few certain locations all the time, so I feel like the crowds here, they're somewhat used to it. It takes a lot to get an LA crowd moving, but when I was in New York, I was shocked. It was pouring rain. People were out there for hours, and people were moving. People were getting hyped down, and they were still hyped. And I think that was one of the most beautiful things I ever saw. There was so many different people, people from Harlem, people from Queens, people from Brooklyn, and I had never seen like a community of all these different like areas come together so well and like move and stuff. So I don't know. Personally, I think the New York crowd is hype. I feel like if we could have their energy here all the time, I feel like shows would go through the roof. You know what I mean?
More to come. I mean, more and more New Yorkers are moving out west, so
that's
you
true.
Just never know. We have an effect on people. That's what they say.
Yeah, for real. There's a strength there, for sure. All right, so last time you dropped an EP, it's been a minute. It's been since 2018. What have you been doing since 2018?
Man, taking care of all 12 of my kids. No, I've actually been just working on my sneaker stuff, really, and really jumping into content creation and working with brands and things like that. So I've been working on that and just networking, and I've been actually doing like features and things like that too. So I haven't been not singing. I just haven't done anything for myself in a long time. So this new project is like a long time coming. I'm really, really excited about it.
Yes, I'm so excited. What can we expect from your new project?
Man.
You don't have to give away any secrets.
No secrets? All right, cool.
You can. Exclusive right here.
Well, I would say it's going to be different from, like, fans that have listened to me since The Girl Next Door from 2018. It is different because we're still talking about love, but we're talking about a different kind of love. So I tell people, like, it's like a merge between, like, The Girl Next Door meets a hood nigga and they fall in love, and this is what happens. So we're talking about different things. So definitely, like, a lot of street shit. So it's definitely different there. But I'm still coming with some crazy lyrics, but I'm singing, like I'm giving you vocals. And a lot of people that are just now jumping into me through some of my features, they haven't really heard me sing. So this is going to be a treat for them. So I'm very excited about that.
Yeah. Now, is this like an autobiographical, this is true to fact, this album that's coming out?
I can not confirm.
Neither plead the fifth. All right. That's a good card to pull. Are we going to hear anything about sneakers? Anything about like the content creation? Like your life, is this like going to overlap a lot in the album?
Completely different. Two different things.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I want to know about the sneakers, dude. I saw your sneaker room. Oh my God.
I have a problem.
How do you even like think about that? Like, I want to know from like beginning, how did you start in the sneaker game?
Man, I was like 13 when I started like really wearing. I was a tomboy, so still am, but I just love sneakers. I was an athlete, so it was like you had to have the flyest sneakers on the court. Even if you were trash, you still had to at least look like you knew what you were doing. You know what I'm saying? So I was just into it ever since then. And when I was 16, my parents were like, "You need a job." But because we're not paying for your sneakers anymore, I was like, bet.
We're not supporting your habit.
I'm just gonna work at a sneaker store. That's cool. So I started doing that when I was 16, and it just kind of grew from there, really.
That's crazy. All right, top sneakers of all time. Give me 3.
Of my top? Number 1 for me would be the Air Force One.
Like the classic.
The classic all white.
All white?
Yeah.
I would not expect you to say that's like the opposite of what I would expect you to say. I feel like even more surprised I'd be if you said the black ones. Why the Air Force?
Now, if I choose violence, then yes.
Yeah.
But I say all white because it's such a classic shoe that I feel like every person that's into sneakers, I feel like everybody should have one pair. Either lows, highs, or mids. It doesn't matter for me. Like it's up to you. I'm a big proponent on buy what you like.
Yeah.
So that whole mid conversation when people are like, mids are the devil.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, you buy what you like, bro.
Right.
Like whatever you want to put on your feet, like you do that and you make it fly. Like
absolutely.
Do you. So I feel like a classic shoe is Air Force One. You could do anything with it. And they've come out with so many different variations like over the years, and they're just fire. Like it's just a shoe that will probably never go out of style.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many different things you could do with it. People are customizing them. I mean, you can really do anything. All right, that's number 1. You got 2 more.
Jesus. Okay. Number 2 would be, of my favorite, would be an Air Max 97.
Okay.
You know what? Honestly,
that's a classic.
I would say Air Max, period.
Okay. Yeah.
And I say Air Max because there's so many different variations of Air Max that have just evolved over the years, and it's always at the cusp of innovation. That is what the Air Max was from when it came out up until now. It's supposed to be in the forefront of innovation, of comfort, of air technology, like whatever that is, it's just supposed to be of that standard, right? So I love the 97 because the design, when it came out in 97, it was just completely different than anything that we had seen before that. I love like the tuned air because that style was just different. It looked like fins on a fish, if y'all, you know what I'm saying? So don't get me started. See, now we're going to get into this conversation.
Oh, I'm fascinated,
I could talk about this forever.
The sneaker game is fascinating to me because I feel like, as soon as you take that first buy, as soon as you make that first purchase, there's no going back. In my mind, it's such a daunting yet fascinating world because, and I don't have like any sneakers like that. I'm a Vans girl, but I will gladly do it, but you got to go shopping with me because I do not know what to buy.
Listen, all you had to say the word to me was shopping. That's it. If you say the S word to me, I'm like, what time? I need to push my flight back. Like, what are we doing?
That's what I mean. Like, I feel like, and there's so many, I wouldn't know where to start. Okay, so this is what I should be asking. What advice do you have for a new sneaker shopper who's looking to like up their look a little bit? Like, you recommend the Air Forces.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
The Maxes.
I would. My first thing would be to get what you like. Like, don't get something because you think it's
What if I don't know what I like?
Go to we got to go to a couple sneaker stores.
What if I like something, then you're like, girl, that's neon orange. I don't know if you could do it.
I'm going to tell you to buy it. I'm an enabler.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you to buy it.
What I feel like you have to wear the sneaker and not let it wear you, and I feel like that's my biggest hesitation. It's like I want to look dope as fuck, but like I'm scared it's gonna wear me. You know what I mean? Because like once you put those on, you lace them up, you have to walk out with a certain like I'm here. You know what I mean?
But you gotta do that anyway, though.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
true.
saying?
It's easier in like Vans though. It's easier in Converse.
I tell you to get a pair of Vans though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. That's true.
I did an article once. I write from time to time for this blog. Shout out Thick Laces, And one of the things I said in there, it was about building your sneaker closet, right? And one of the things I said in there was you have to go to a sneaker store and whatever you gravitate to, whether it's like an Adidas or, you know, a Jordan, whatever it is, whatever you gravitate to first, that's the shoe you need to try on first. Like, go with your first mind, because if you overthink it, it's not gonna do what it's supposed to do for you. And then you're gonna be like, oh, this shoe is wearing me, I'm not wearing it. Because you're overthinking it and you're trying too hard to please somebody else. Please yourself first. And then if you're comfortable, if you please yourself first, then you're gonna kill it every time.
I think that's fascinating. I think style in general, like, to me, that is such a foreign concept, but I think it's so reflective of like an artist's character and their music. Like, you take a guy like Anderson .Paak, right? Love his music, big fan. We were talking about him yesterday. Yeah. He's a beach dude. Like, you could tell just by his outfits, he's got some fly Vans on. He's got like a nice little open floral shirt on. He's okay. That's his music, though. Yeah, that's his music. That's Ventura. That's Oxnard. He makes music that's reflective of his style. Like, for you, what would I be able to tell about your music from what you wear?
Ooh, that is a wonderful question.
Thank you.
You are so smart, girl.
Oh, my goodness.
That's why you're my friend.
This is the Alfredo. Thank you, DJ Beans, Liquid Intelligence.
From my music, what would you gather from my style?
Well, like, you know, like, if I was to catch you on a random Tuesday, I guess what I should ask first is, what would you be wearing?
On a random Tuesday, I'm definitely going to have on either a pair of Yeezy slides or my Air Max EVOs. Like, I probably wouldn't even have no real heat on, for real. I would be wearing something super chill, comfortable. I'd probably have on, if I wasn't going anywhere, some leggings, graphic T-shirt.
That's still fly, though. So, like, and that's, like, laid back. Kind of like some of your music. Yeah. You know?
It's chill.
It's kind of a reflection of it.
I would say that.
What do you wear, like, going out?
Going out?
Style-wise, yeah.
I'm pulling out some heat. I'm going in the closet, and I'm looking like...
What's your go-to? What is your go-to? Do you have like, a staple? Like, I gotta wear this.
No.
Always switch it up.
But then also, I don't start with the shoes first all the time. Like, some people, they have a shoe in mind first. I have so much crap, like, no, I'm not gonna call it crap. I have so many shoes, like, I can't start with the shoes because it'll drive me crazy. Because I'll be like, no, I wanna wear these. Oh, wait, no, I wanna wear those. No, wait. So I usually start with the fit first. And then, because I know for a fact, if I start with the fit first, I know I got kicks to match it. So, and I know that for a fact. There's something in that damn closet that I'm gonna be able to put on. It's gonna look dope. So,
writer, singer, could you potentially ever venture into the world of stylist? I feel like, no. I feel like you could. If I took you shopping, right, I feel like you'd be able to pick me out something. And that's the definition of a stylist.
I could do that, yeah.
Is that something you'd be passionate about? Is that something like you could see yourself doing? A lot of artists, you know, are just creatives in general. And it's, you know, I've never met an artist that said, I just do music. I'm not one. They all do something on the side. Even if it's just a hobby, even if it's just, I've never met a creative person. I was like, I just like, you know.
Do this one thing.
Yeah. Like, nah. Have you? Like, it's not really.
Not really, nah.
No. I think a characteristic of being creative is, like, you find it manifesting in, like, different ways in your life. And I don't know, I could see you being a really excellent stylist.
I'm down for that. Like, I've helped people, like my friends and stuff. But I joke around and I tell people I could be their sneaker stylist. So, but like, real talk, like, I wouldn't mind getting into that. Like, I would do it. Yeah.
All right. So I want to know, if you took me out and you wanted to dress me and you wanted to, like, show me some music, I want to know what songs you would pick from your last album, and I want to know what you would put me in. So, like, what am I listening to when I'm shopping with you off of Girl Next Door, and, like, what would you put me in?
So for Strikeout, which is one of my favorites, I would definitely put you in, like, you gotta sex it up a little bit. Okay. So I would put you in, like, some liquid, like, faux liquid leggings, right? Some black leggings, some fire-ass boots. They don't have to be, like, tall, like, you know, Hoochie Mama boots, Hoochie Mama. I'm dating myself. But, like, some cute, like, black booties, right? With, like, some laces, like, laced up booties or whatever. And then we would find you, like, a really cute shirt. Like, I think all black, right?
That's my
go-to, right? Yes. You could never go wrong.
You are a stylist. Dude.
Or I just like all black. But something definitely, like, a cute, like, low cut, something that shows a little bit of the cleavy, you know what I'm saying? Gets the guys going. Hair down, maybe like a light, like wand, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, smoky eye, black them out, put on some lashes, and put on a poppin' ass lip, and I'm gonna be like, hit the streets.
Dude, I feel like that's literally what I wear. You literally could not have said it perfectly. I wore that like when I met you, dude. Yeah, absolutely.
Facts, that's facts. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I wish you perform. I'm looking forward to seeing you perform out here. You know, you have this upcoming album. Do we have like an estimated date? Like, we need it going. I need the people to hear what I heard yesterday when you took me around all of LA.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, I want to know what, like, do you have a projected timeline for like when your next project's coming out?
That is a great question. So right now, Mask and Gloves in the process of being mixed and mastered. So it's really, we're gonna surprise you. It's a surprise. It's a surprise for me too. Okay. So I don't have soon though. It's coming.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm super looking forward to it. You want to list some features that you got on the album? It's gonna be a surprise. Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
We got the exclusive right here.
So basically, it's a compilation with me and Flea Lord, my brother. I'm very excited about that. He killed, like, literally every track he was on. He killed every single one.
He did kill every single one.
Like,
he matched the
like,
vibe.
Damn.
Yeah.
I gotta go back. Hold on. Let's rewrite this. Come on, guys. We gotta redo this. So like, it was really, really dope. So of course we have him on there. I've got some of my Lord Mob family on there too. We got G4 Jag, he's on there. Bangs is on there as well. And I have a track produced by Rock Marcy.
There we go.
And I am so hype about that because he killed it. When we were sent the track, me and my team, we were like, oh yeah. We about to kill this.
Locked in.
So I'm very excited about it. All of it came together, and it's gonna be a complete vibe. Like, it really is.
What's your favorite thing about working with Lord Mob?
Their energy is amazing.
Yeah.
Energy is amazing. And they treat me like a real sister.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel funny. Like, they always make sure I'm good. Like, and you don't, in this day and age, for some reason, guys, I don't know what it is. They don't treat women like women that much anymore. But it's refreshing to be around a group of men that are respectful and that just love doing what they do, and they're just all creative as fuck. Like, everybody is dope in their own way. And I just think to be around that kind of energy, it just makes you want to level up.
Yeah,
be
absolutely.
better. You know what I mean? So that's what I love the most.
Absolutely. Do you think the way artists kind of interact with each other like spills onto the album? You know?
Absolutely.
Like, even like do you think having a relationship with someone matters to be on a feature?
Yes. Because you feed off of each other, especially if you're able to like be in the same space and record at the same time. So like, if you're able to record together, right, you're going to feed off each other's energy, and it should make you want to be better. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody goes in the booth and they lay down some crazy shit and you're just like, okay, I need to redo my whole verse. You know what? We just need a whole new song. You know what I mean? It makes you want to be better. And that's what pushes your own creativity to the top. You know what I mean? Being around those kind of people. And it spills over into the song too. Like, you could tell, like, when you have a great relationship with somebody and you create some music, like, for example, my writing team, I've known most of them for a very long time, so we have a great camaraderie. So it spills out into the music. They're able to push me and make me better. You know what I mean? So it makes a difference.
Yeah. What do you think, how do you feel about, like, if someone sends you a song, you know, someone's in New York, you're in Atlanta, or vice versa, or you're out here, and you're not able to be with them in the studio, but you're still going to send them, like, the best you can give.
Absolutely.
How do you think that affects the track? Like, if you can't be there in presence, or, like, let's say the person that you're working with you don't know super well. Do you think that changes the vibe at all? Because, like, if we look at, let's look at, like, Sicko Mode. Okay, that documentary on Travis Scott, that was crazy on Netflix. You seen that one? Mama Can Fly, so good. Okay, so, like, there was the scene where Drake sends him the verse for Sicko Mode, but they weren't in the studio at the same time. Amazing song, classic, fire. How do you think it changes when you can't be in the same room as someone?
Man, like, with the pandemic and with COVID, it's like we have to do what we have to do as creatives. We're going to get it in no matter what. We got to work. So we have to feel off of those vibes, whether we're in the same building or not. And that's the wonderful thing about music. Like what I was saying earlier, like I feel like music transcends borders. Like it doesn't matter. You can feel a person's vibe through a track. Like you can. So if you're a creative, you're tapped in, like I don't think it necessarily matters, especially now. We have to change the way that we do things now anyway. But a vibe is a vibe, man. Like if you really like a track, if you really like what that person is saying, if you're really getting into it, like you're gonna kill that shit. Like period. Shout out everyone in the chat right now. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is Underground Hip Hop Blog. People are commenting low bottoms, joggers. I don't know if low bottoms are gonna come back. What do you think about joggers? Someone Bean. Oh, I'm sorry. Ben Burning. I said Bean. Ooh, Ben Burning. I would want to know what that name means, like because
that's fire.
I'm thinking something else in my head, but maybe that's something totally
Ben Burning. That might.
Yeah,
that's fire though. That's an amazing name. What he said. What do you think about joggers?
I love joggers.
Kind of a segue. Yeah,
I
like
love joggers
too.
What?
Hard to find a good jogger, I would say. I don't know. I feel like for me, I got hips. I have like skinny legs, but
Shakira,
I have
hips don't quit.
I have hips. I can't wear. Someone commented low bottoms. I could never.
No.
I'm so glad I didn't grow up in like the 2000s. Well, I did, but like when
you weren't like
I didn't need to wear the low rise jeans. That was a hard era to rock those.
That was just terrible because if you have like what is the thing when you've got like fat hips?
Oh, the love handles.
There you go. If you got love handles and you got on low bottoms.
You don't even need love handles to wear low bottoms. They
were going to give it to you anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
You were getting it.
You couldn't have ass in low bottoms at all. You couldn't have stomach fat. You couldn't have ass.
Well, if you have an ass, you're going to have low bottoms anyway because they don't make jeans for us. I'm claiming that I have a fat ass. I really don't, but that's cool. In my mind, I do. Damn it. I do.
Own it. Yeah.
But joggers, I usually get mine from like, sometimes I'll go to H&M. Men's section. I wear a lot of stuff in the men's section, and I just
like what? What do you wear?
Like this shirt I have on is a men's shirt.
That's fire.
It's a men's shirt. Like I wear a lot of men's stuff because I don't necessarily want to be tight all the time. You know what I mean? Like I don't necessarily need to be cropped and tight all the time. So I like to have that versatility.
I like to wear like men's bomber jackets.
Yes.
You know, they're comfy. Women don't have a lot of them.
Not good ones.
Not good ones. It's so interesting to me, like, watching the style change, obviously, like, the 2000s, like, what everyone was wearing, like, kind of, like, oversized to, the max. Like, I'm thinking of, like, Soulja Boy, like, literally, like, everything is, like, a giant, you know.
And cheetah print.
And the music, like, do you think music changes with the style? Do those affect each other at all, or are they kind of existing in their own little worlds?
I feel like it can go either way, but I feel like style and music kind of evolves with the time. And one thing about style is it always comes back around. And like we were talking about yesterday, music also comes back around. So I think that they can evolve together, but they don't necessarily have to evolve at the same time. Does that make sense?
They can evolve together. They can? Or
they can
evolve together.
But they don't necessarily have to.
Right. That's true. I just think, like, I think of, like, all the SoundCloud rappers. Like, when that era was really taking off, we saw a huge rise in, like, you know, hair dye, you know, face jewelry, or just, like, more tattoos. Like, there was a certain look that came with that music. There's a certain look that comes with, you know, if you are a Southern California artist, if you are a Bay artist, if you are, I don't know, I like wonder, I'm like, I wonder if the music affects that, if the culture affects that, like what, I don't know if they're related or not, you know?
It might just depend on the genre too.
That's true. Like country singers, like what do we think of when we think of country singers?
When I think of a country singer,
of what they wear too.
But I will say this, it has changed depending on the artist that comes in. So like my homeboy, Blanco Brown, who's a huge country artist.
Shout out.
He's fire. First of all, he was my vocal coach for a long time.
Oh, wow.
And his octave range is like insane. Like I have a video of us, like one of the things we used to do, we would sing back and forth the Star Spangled Banner. Right? And so it'd be like...
What do you mean back and forth?
So I'd be like, oh, say, can you see? And then he would be like, by the dawn's early light. And then the next person, then I'd have to come back in and try to beat that. And one time he came through with this octave. I was like, How the fuck am I supposed to do that? Like, what note is that? He came through with a Mariah Carey, because he's got like Mariah Carey range. Like, he came through with one of those. I was like, I don't want to play anymore. I quit. But his style is called like, it's like trailer trap is what he calls it.
Oh.
So like he's coming through with the chains, with the do-rag, with the jeans, you know, with the white tee and the sneakers, because he's a sneakerhead too. And that's different than what you would originally think of when you think of a country singer. You would think trailer trap. And his dude, he's fire. He's fire.
That name, that could be a brand. We're licensing that right now online.
He might have already did it, to be honest.
I hope he does.
But like, you can have a standard, but then you might have an artist that comes through that just completely changes what that standard is and creates their own lane with it. And that's the wonderful thing I love about music. And about individuality. Like, a person can just come through being complete, like what I do. There's not a lot of females that do that sing on that grimy shit. Like, they're just not. And then when they do come through, you do see a female, they're not rocking kicks. Like, they're like, where is it? Where are they coming from? So it's creating your own lane and making it your own. And sometimes you have to set the standard on its head and just change that shit and just make it your own thing, and still paying homage, of course, right? But at the same time, you are stepping out like, this is what I do. This is me.
Absolutely. Okay, so this all begs the question, are you dropping a sneaker line when your album is coming out, or can we expect it earlier than that? Because I'm trying to get whatever you are making.
Yes, I'm here for it.
Yes.
That is a goal.
Perfect. I'm going to hold you to that.
Please.
Drop your own sneakers, dude.
Please. That's one of, like, literally, so we talked about this yesterday about, like, you know, having, like, a list of things, like, planning and just having, like, manifesting all that shit, right? For me, one of the things that I want to do is I want a sneaker. I want my own sneaker collaboration with a major brand. So more to come with that. Like, I'm putting that out there.
Absolutely.
For sure.
I'm looking forward to it. All right, so we have some tracks that we want to play for you guys.
We're going straight old school.
I'm with it. Let's do it. Let's do
it.
And we're waiting. This is gonna be anticipation for the next album that will be coming out. So we got Tiona Deniece. Tell them real quick where they can find your music. You know, plug your Instagram, plug your Spotify, all your things. Plug all your things.
Cool. So it's really easy because I didn't change the name. So it's literally my name, Tiona, Tiona _Deniece, and that's on everything. Perfect. To make it easy, because the way my name is spelled is hard enough anyway. And people fuck it up anyway, so I just made it super easy.
I think it's super easy. All right, let's pull up the track. Let's pull up.
Yeah, moving forward, especially with the new year, like apparently.
Oh, we got licensing problems.
With the whole algorithm fucking everything up.
I see.
To protect you as an artist, like moving forward with all of our interviews, like literally moving forward.
That's crazy.
Like we can't play anyone's material, apparently.
Wow.
You know
what? Licensing is
insane,
is a bitch.
Right?
Yeah, no, it's crazy. I feel like
Product was just here.
Yeah.
And he wanted to play a couple joints.
That's crazy. No, it's all good. It's all good. I feel like, you know.
So thank you, Google.
We're just going to build that anticipation for Masking Love.
Exactly.
I'm with it. That's fine.
We're just going to keep them waiting even more.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly. I feel like...
And what they do with the videos now, they scrub the whole track when you replay the video.
Really? Oh, wow. Yeah, TikTok started doing that shit. They literally made the video on silent if they don't like what you have to say. Yeah, no, it's crazy. I produced a show... a couple months ago
with conditions.
Yeah, facts. And we only put like 10-second like intervals of different tracks. It was like a game show about music, but we remixed them so they weren't even like, you know, the ones that you can find online to buy, and they were completely remixed and they were good to go. YouTube still took the video down. It's crazy. Licensing and everything. Jeez. Ownership of music is crazy. I feel like no one really owns their music. That to me is a big discussion that we should be talking about more, especially with independent artists like such as yourself. How do you feel about, you know, if you had to sign a label and, you know, they are obviously going to be a huge part in distributing your music, but how would you feel in terms of just like the emotional aspect that ties your music? Do you still feel like it'd be yours?
Ooh, that's a good question. A lot of times in the beginning, artists have to make decisions like that. and they have to decide, you know, they might not be able to keep their masters. And it's a hard decision because you put your blood, sweat, tears, and motion into whatever you're creating, I would hope, right? So to have to give that up potentially is a difficult decision, but it's almost like you're giving up. Have you ever seen that one meme with like the little girl with the little teddy bear? And then you've got like the picture of like, you know, Jesus and he's got the biggest teddy bear. So it's kind of like you're kind of doing that. Like you're giving up something right now.
Except
for
that
the hope for
Jesus is
bigger.
like Warner Brothers.
Right.
It's like universal.
That's a metaphor.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like what you have to do as an artist in certain instances, right? Like you have to, for the hopes of something greater coming along, like you might have to give up a little bit in the beginning to get something greater.
Do you think, you know, independent and working with a lot of independent artists, do you think you've been able to protect the creative integrity that goes into your work that otherwise might be either maybe overlooked or maybe thrown by the wayside or just maybe not understood by like a major corporation? How do you think being an independent artist has like protected or like hindered your own music?
These questions, man, I love them.
Again, Alfredo IPA, shout out DJ Beans, India Pale Ale.
Shout out DJ Beans. So I would say being independent and working with other independent artists has helped me to maintain my own creativity and my own kind of like being able to stay true to who I am. And that was one of my biggest fears because I started off as a writer. Like I wanted to just be a songwriter and do like session singing and stuff like that. Like my very first time out here in LA, I came out here to do session singing. It was a writer I was working with at the time, and he wanted to do some stuff for Jennifer Hudson, and he was like, I need somebody with a powerful voice. You want to come to LA? And I'm like, hell yeah. So that was my first taste into like really diving into this, and then I just kind of ended up being an artist some kind of way, and I was afraid of that. I was afraid of not being able to be Tiona Deniece or Tiona D at the time. Like I was afraid of not being able to do that and being told I had to change. You got to change your weight. You got to change your look. We're going to shave all your hair off. You're going to go blonde.
No one said that though, right?
No. I'm just saying,
fears,
like, that was my fear.
Do you think there's a huge misconception around the whole label? Do you think that people are afraid of things that might not even be accurate?
Yes and no. Because we're always going to have the fear of the unknown, right? Like, we don't really know until we jump into it. But at the end of the day, it's a machine. And at the end of the day, it's about selling something. So if you're going to be a part of that machine, you got to be ready to be whatever they want you to be so they can sell you to whatever your demographic is going to be. Being an independent artist, you kind of figure that on your own. You know what I mean? And you're able to kind of tap in to your fan base and being yourself.
Yeah.
Hopefully your most authentic self.
Yeah.
Like I feel like with my music and me as an artist, I think I'm my most authentic self. Like, and I think that's what makes people gravitate to me at the end of the day because I am who I am. You know what I mean? And there's not a whole lot of artists that can say that.
Do you think it's easier to be authentic to yourself when you're coming out with your own music, or it's easier to buy into whatever you think will sell? And I know the obvious answer would be, obviously it'd be easier to buy into whatever you sell, but not whatever sells, but not necessarily. Because if you put something out there and you put your heart and soul into a track and you're like, this is it, this is my manifesto, you have to live and die on that hill. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not necessarily, but a lot of artists will come out and say, this is my baby, or like I know this is gonna be a chart topper. So like in a way, it kind of swings both ways because in 10 years, in 2 years, you could look back at that track and be like, oh man, this is what I heard. This is my everything.
That time, that was everything to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you gotta live in that moment. Like
Okay.
I look back at some of the tracks that I've done 10 years ago and I'm like, ew, this was terrible. But I still am like, that was what I was feeling in that moment. That's who I was in that moment. So I have to respect that, even though I'm not there anymore. Because, of course, we're always changing. We're always evolving, hopefully getting better. So you got to take that good and the bad. Because in that moment, you were that shit. Like, this is what I wanted to do. Like,
Yeah.
Even if it was trash now, but back then you were like, nah, this is it. You know?
Yeah. So so there's value. So what you're saying is there's value in whatever you decide to pursue if you go into it like with the purest intentions, like, you know, the whole is hard, because like when I first started writing, I was like, oh my God, like this poetry, like this is everything, right? Mm-hmm. And then I would like bring it out to publishers and they were like, no. They were like, we don't see the vision. And I was like, what do you, like, I couldn't understand it. And so for me, as a writer, not a songwriter, but just as a writer, it's hard. And I think it's hard for a lot of artists in general to value where they were if down the road they don't value it then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It feels more of a sentimental value than like this piece of art is valuable. You know what I mean?
And even if it's valuable to just you, that's fine, because there's beauty in that. There's beauty in that history, that moment that made you write that thing or sing that thing. There's a beauty there, and you have to pay respect to that. You know what I mean? Because that's what made you who you are now. If you didn't go through that moment, if you didn't have that song or that, you know, experience or whatever it is, you have to respect that for what it was.
Yeah, absolutely. So like for you, since 2018, since The Girl Next Door, how have you changed? How has your sound changed?
Ooh. Honestly, still have the same tone. I think that's something that will never change, right? But like the things that I talk about are different now. And because I look at life differently now because of experiences, things that you've gone through, people that you've met, relationships that you had, whether platonic or otherwise, or what is it? Situationships? What's the word? Entanglements. If you have some entanglements, that'll change some shit. But
I hate that word. We gotta kill it. We need to change entanglements
to what?
Altogether. No, we don't need to change the word.
We just want to get rid of them.
We need the situation to be. We need the entanglement to be disband.
I'm with you on
hard
that.
Out here.
It is hard out here for people that don't value entanglements.
When you're in one, you know, it's difficult. So we've seen some entanglements since No, I'm just kidding. Since 2018, no, your sound. I mean, okay, so you're obviously looking at things a lot different. It's a lot more mature. Do you think the sound is, you know, probably a lot more mature? Same tonality.
I would say yes, but also
wiser.
Playing around with different tones of my voice, because I started taking more voice lessons. And each teacher that you have, whether y'all have them or not, voice lessons or whatever, each teacher that you have will hopefully bring something out of you that you might not have had before. So I had one teacher, so I'm a soprano normally, right? But I had one music teacher that made me talk in a lower tone because she wanted me to tap into my lower register. She wanted me to get those bottom notes. Like, she's like, no, you need to get these notes, bitch. You need to talk low all the time. And so for like a whole year, I talked very low. So then, not that bad. It wasn't like, it was like, yo, what's up, girl? Like, but it was just lower than what I normally, even now, like the way I talk now is different than how I talked maybe like 10, 15 years ago, because it was higher pitch.
Sure.
So even now, like my first reaction is usually to go high because that's just who I am, right? But time and practice and lessons and all that, it just taught me something different about my voice and learning where I can go. So the biggest difference between The Girl Next Door to now is just you hear a lot of lower tones because I'm playing around in that neighborhood and just having like people on my team that make me go there. Like there's a song on the EP that's called Mike Jack, and I'm actually gonna perform that. So Mike Jack is all in my lower register for the most part, and it's understanding those tones that'll give you like a specific feel, right? So if I'm talking about I'm gonna slide through your block like I'm Mike Jack, I can't be like slide through your block like I'm Mike. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta play in those tones to give people that feeling, so then they're like, oh, this bitch is really gonna shoot somebody. Like, oh, okay.
Do you think it changes the meaning, your tone?
Absolutely. Like if I say to you, hi, and if I say to you, hi.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's it's a totally different meaning.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh my God.
And I feel like as a singer, you have to understand that. And at first I just wanted to sing.
I feel like as an artist you have to understand.
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. Like tone, like
that was a very good way to say that.
Inflection, like all that
Yes.
stuff. It makes a difference in how you say something.
It's not about what you say.
It's how you say it. Don't you, I used to hate when my parents would say that to me.
They're right.
And then you gotta say you were right. Whatever. Yeah. Don't tell them I said that.
Are you sure? All right.
No, don't tell them.
All right. All right. We got Tiona Deniece. Girl, thank you for coming through.
Thank you.
I'm so happy to have you here.
Yo, we had a crazy conversation yesterday.
Dude, I just feel like, you're one of those artists that just, when you hear some truth, you just have to run with it because it's not often that you find that. It's kind of like a unicorn, little needle in a haystack.
You call me a unicorn?
A little bit. Yeah.
I'll take that.
Absolutely.
No, seriously, after I dropped you off, like, I was driving back home, and I was just like, yo, that was a dope-ass conversation. Like, it was super duper organic. And we just talked about so many different things. But at the end of it, and I got to play some music for you.
Oh,
And you were really into it.
I know.
I had to call everybody on the way home, I think we did good with this EP, y'all.
Yeah. Oh man, it's so refreshing. When you listen, I wrote something the other day. I was like, I listen to so much good music, it's hard to hear good music anymore. And so, listening to you when we were driving, I was like, it was almost like a weight was released off my shoulders because it just gave me faith in the fact that there's still people that really, really care about this and that really take this seriously and are really coming from a place of truth, like you were talking about earlier. And so, yeah,
Why wouldn't you though? That's what I don't understand.
It was therapeutic.
Why wouldn't you? If I'm gonna do this, right, and I'm gonna sacrifice whatever it is what time away from my family, if I have kids or if I have a husband or whatever, time away from that, time away from not, being a starving artist, because let's be real, you gotta be a starving artist at some point, right? So if I'm gonna do all these sacrifices, do all this stuff, why wouldn't I put all my all into that shit? Why wouldn't I? You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I want you to feel this shit. I want you to understand, this was not easy to do. Why not? You know what I mean? I don't understand why people you can't call yourself a singer and not feel it. You know what I mean? You can't call yourself a singer and not understand certain things about your voice or certain things about the past artists that you love or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You gotta feel that.
Absolutely. And before we wrap up, I do want to ask you this. What genre, you don't have to pick a genre, but if you had to put yourself in a genre, what would you put it in? Or maybe it could be a crossover, maybe it could be, influenced by different things. What would you be in? Because you're a mix of a lot.
I'll take that.
I would say.
Mix of crazy.
Mix of passion.
Passion.
I like that better.
That is a good one. Some people might take that the wrong way. Passionate about music. All right, chill out. So I would say R&B and hip hop.
There it is.
Yeah. I would put those two together. Because R&B, honestly, a lot of R&B that's out right now, to me, is not R&B. It's different. Some of it is hip hop. Some of it is a little pop. It's not that old, that real R&B, Mary J. Blige, Keisha Cole, you know what I'm saying? That's real R&B to me. Where I feel damn, this bitch really about to kill herself or kill him. Right. One of the two or both. Sunshine Anderson.
Dude.
You know what I mean?
So on that note, okay, remember I was with you, and I was I just really want to hear you talk some shit. I just really want to hear you just fuck this, fuck him, fuck her, fuck that, because it comes from such a place of truth, and I'm looking forward to when this album drops, because then we can continue to see you doing that, and you gotta promise me you gotta keep doing it, even when you're a top charter, you still got to talk about the shit you're going through, because then you're going to relate to a whole different demographic. Look
at Mary J.
Blige. I mean? That's what I'm saying, though. People stop talking about the struggle once they think people don't care about it anymore.
Or if they've made it to a certain level. But there's always a different struggle.
More money.
Different problems. It might not be a money problem, but it's something else. Absolutely. You know what I mean? So just because you've made it to a certain level, you got new levels, new devils, yo. Straight up.
Facts. Was that DMX?
I think, no. Who said that? Beans, you know who said that?
Someone
She ain't paying
important
attention.
said that.
Somebody said it.
Yeah. Well, again, thank you for coming on so much. She's very true to her music, y'all. Tiona Deniece. You can stream The Girl Next Door on all streaming platforms. And then one more time for the good people at home, plug all of your socials.
Tiona_Deniece. Tiona_Deniece. Shouts out to the little mob, Lord Mob, Flea Lord, everybody. Also, Mask and Glove. It's coming soon.
Coming soon. All right, stay tuned with updates, y'all. Underground Hip Hop Blog, biggest underground hip hop blog in the world.
Fire.
We out. Hold on.